A couple years ago, I was at work and I got a phone call. And it was my daughter, and it was on FaceTime, so I'm talking to her. And she says, "Mom, I've been in a little accident." So we rushed to the hospital and spend the day in there and, get home and, tend to her and all of that. My biggest concern was just the protection of her and her rights because she was a minor.
When we're talking about victims of motorcycle accidents, first it's you need to realize that the motorcycle operator or the passenger on a motorcycle are by the very nature of that vehicle in a very vulnerable position. And so most of the time, not always, but most of the time, the victim of that motorcycle accident has very severe injuries, very significant injuries. And a lot of times they have been hospitalized for many days, maybe weeks since the date of the accident. More often than not, with those types of injuries, we see significant injuries where people go through a long period of treatment and recovery and still are left with some pretty significant permanent impairment and scarring. The first thing that we do at our firm when we are talking with that injured person who's been involved in an accident is to try to lower their stress level. And you just have to let that person talk to you. You have to let them know first that you're there to listen, that you're there to understand. And then we talk about, okay, here is our plan. Here is how we're going to get you back to where you need to be. Here's how we're going to make sure you are reasonably compensated for everything you've gone through and everything you're still going to go through. And so we talk about that plan, we formulate that plan, then we put that plan in place and try to assure them that you can focus on doing what the doctor says, getting better, spending time with your family, getting back to work, and let us handle the rest of it. The biggest mistake or the biggest thing that I would try to help people avoid if they've been injured in a motorcycle accident would be, first of all, not seeking immediate medical attention. More often than not, when you're in a motorcycle accident, there's injuries, there's significant injuries. But even if you walk away from it, so to speak, you still have to go and get checked out. I mean, that's just the nature of the mechanism of injury with a motorcycle. You've got nothing to protect you. You may have a helmet, but that's it. And so making sure they get the appropriate medical treatment first, making sure that they obtain whatever information they can, names, addresses, phone numbers, if they're able to, from witnesses. Making sure that they get pictures of the bike, their bike, maybe the other vehicle, again, if they're able to do so, and pictures of the accident scene. All those things are very important, and those are things that are not as easy to get 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks down the line. In choosing a personal injury attorney, first of all, you need to have a personal injury attorney, not an attorney who occasionally does a personal injury case here and there. You need somebody who works exclusively, if not at least primarily, in that area of law. You need somebody who I believe is well respected, experienced obviously, but well respected in the community. Well respected not only by the judges and courthouse staff, but has the respect of insurance adjusters. You need to have an attorney who is not only experienced, but is willing to go to court and is willing to convey that, and who that insurance company knows this case, if it doesn't get resolved for a reasonable amount, will be tried by this attorney.
Once the case was resolved, Attorney Jean Vaught was able to get her enough to where she was able to purchase items that were not be a burden to her in payment-wise for her to progress in college. So she didn't have any payments. So she can attend college without, a burden.
To the person who has been injured in an accident, who thinks they want to contact an attorney but feels like, I don't know that financially I'm going to be in a position to do that, the first thing I say is within the personal injury realm, which is all I do, our fees are based solely on a contingency. You only pay me, our firm only earns a fee when we resolve your case, whether that be through settlement or whether that be going to trial and getting a jury verdict. And that is a percentage contingency. And you know what? If we don't recover anything for you, you don't owe us anything.
If anybody needs a personal injury, to call Attorney Jean Vaught.